What's going on, guys? Jonas here. It is day number 23 out of 365. Time is flying by. Right now I'm getting ready to hit the gym, so I'm making my pre and post workout shakes. And I already made my pre-workout, but my camera decided to fucking cut the clip, so I used this pre-workout from Pulse Nutrition, 1 scoop of this and some salt for some extra electrolytes, because I don't think you can ever have too many of those. We are sweating in the gym, so electrolytes are gonna be necessary for you. But for the post-workout, we're gonna be doing the same as always. So 80 grams of oats, roughly 45 grams of carbs. And we will blend the oats into an oat flour. This way, I think or at least for me, I like it more when it's flour, because it is easier for me to digest and I don't get those clumps of oats. They just vanish basically into the water and milk mix. But yeah, this will get blended right fucking now. And in the meantime, I will be cutting my dates. And by the way, these are the dates I have right now. These are not the best tasting, but these were the only ones that were left in the store. So this is what I got. But I usually buy the same brand, but it's different packaging. I don't know what's the difference between those two, but this ain't that good. These dates are a little bit, how would I say it? Well, they are not as juicy as the ones I buy normally, but they are still very tasty. But yeah, let's get started. Alright, oats are blended, and what I like to do is I like to just simply slice the date in half and pick out the seed that's inside. Super simple. You can do it however the fuck you want, but that's what I do. Next purchase is gonna be a Ninja blender, one that has blades going through all the way up the jar, because the most annoying thing is that when you blend this, all the dates won't get blended. They will become a bit of a clump in there. But if the machine has blades going all over, I hope that won't happen. So that's gonna be the next purchase when it's time for that. They are 200-300 euros always, so gotta save up for that one. It's one of those nice things to have, but definitely not necessary, because, like, come on, it's such a small thing to upgrade. Some salt, yep, that's good enough. And today we're gonna have vanilla flavored protein powder from My Protein. This is the best tasting protein I have ever had. It is so incredibly tasty. If you haven't tried it yet, please give it a go and you will see how good it is. Okay, and now I just made a mess. Okay, fuck. No protein gets wasted. I'm not gonna be wasting any protein. I need it all. That's done. What do I need now? Milk. Milk, of course. Pohjolan meijeri kevyt maito. You people in other countries than Finnish probably have no idea what that means. And it probably sounded extremely stupid. People say that Finnish is one of the most difficult languages in the world. I find it funny because, well, of course it's your native language. Of course it's not difficult for you, but I can believe that it sounds extremely stupid in the ears of somebody who's not native. Oh, and look at this, boys. We have our rice waiting for us right here. I made it like an hour ago, maybe 2 hours ago. And now the rice cooker just keeps it warm. So it's nice and ready for me when I want to eat. So it's keeping it warm for 12 hours. I gotta be honest, I don't know if it's the smartest thing to do, to leave it here unattended, but we will see if the house is still intact when I get back or if it's burnt down. But now I'm ready to hit the gym, so yeah, still have few things to do and few things to pack, but then we will be hitting a monster workout, even though it's a deload, but still gonna be a fucking epic workout. So see you at the gym. Alright, here we go. So today's workout is gonna be simple. We're gonna be starting with bench press. We're gonna do 3 sets of 5 reps. We're gonna start with 40% of our training 1 rep max. Then we're gonna be doing 50%, and then we are gonna finish the bench press with 60% of our 1 rep max. And then we're gonna hit some shoulders. We're gonna be doing overhead presses, 5 sets of 10. Keep it real simple, real easy. And then we're gonna finish off the workout with some upper back movements. Still deload, but the good news is this is the last deload day of the week. And on Tuesday, we finally get to train again as the normal routine. So that's when the growth starts again. I'm so excited. All right, here we go. So we're gonna start bench with 60 kilos, do 2 sets with 50 for 5 reps, and then we're gonna increase it to 75 kilos, do the rest 5 reps with that, and then we're done with bench. So I know, extremely pussy workout, but that's what the reload is to keep your ego in check. But yeah, if I would have done 40% of my 1 rep max, that would have been like 45 kilos. So no thank you, I'm not gonna do 45 kilos. So we're gonna be just doing 60 kilos, 75, and then that's it for bench. So yeah, let's get started. Now, when the weights are light, I try to focus as much as possible on the form. And the main factor in bench that I need to practice is my leg drive. That's something I think will benefit me the most if I learn it perfectly. I think that will increase my bench by quite a lot. I think it's okay, but there's always improvement to be made, and it is much easier to practice when the weights are light. When the weights get heavy, well, then you have much more to think about than just the form. Right now, we focus on the form the most. So I'm trying to really push the weight up as fast as possible with as much strength from my body as possible. And I think that's the main thing for a big bench, is that you need to use the momentum of your body to lift the weight up. Because just using your
chest will, of course, will grow your chest, but we want the strength as well. So that's the way to do it. But yeah, one more, let's slap on 75 and finish the bench session. Feels like a little bit stupid, but that's the bench done. I don't feel exhausted at all, but now I know I'm ready for next week. So let's head on and move on to shoulder press. So with shoulder presses, what I'm trying to practice now is that I get that nice bend in my back so that the weights can go, or the bar can go basically in a straight line up. Right now when if you just stand straight, the bar comes here, and when you push here, you don't get all the strength from your shoulders. But when you bend it over like this, then you get much more strength from your chest and from your shoulders, because this basically is just your front shoulder and some triceps. But when you bend over, you can activate your chest as well, and you get much more power to the movement, because you can utilize your midsection also to the movement, give it a little nice pump. As you see, many powerlifters do this little jump that they can activate from the core. But if you do just straight, it becomes, you cannot activate your core the same way. So really important to practice the bending your back a little bit. Of course, don't go too extreme, but I have quite a stiff back, so I really have to practice it to get my overhead press better. That's the workout done. Let's head over and do our cardio. Alright, just got home from working out, and now
is the time to prep our meals for next week. So we have quite a lot of food to prep. So here we have everything we got. 3 packets of chicken, 3 packets of ground beef, and then these all will become our vegetable mush. This is not all the food I'm gonna be eating next week, but this is just the main stuff. For example, rice I have already cooked and I have some in the fridge, so that's something I don't need to be doing right now, and I will be prepping my breakfast and late night meal a different time, but this is for the 3 main meals I'm having a day. So let's get started with the prep. Okay, so let's start with the chickens. So these are pre-marinated. They are mild chili lime marinated. I really like these. These are from Lidl, and I don't know if you can get these from Europe, but at least in Finland you can get these. It's like, I think, €4 a package, and the marinade is really nice, and these have great macros. I think, yeah, here we go. So these are, by the way, it's the fattier part of the chicken. This is not the lean cut. So 100 grams has 141 calories, 7 grams of fats, and 18 grams of protein. So pretty decent. And I choose this fattier part simply because if you don't have the fattier part, if you go with the lean cut, the chicken becomes quite nutrient. Well, it lacks nutrients. There is not many good nutrients in chicken unless you have some of the fats you get from the natural source from the chicken itself. Basically, at that point, chicken just becomes protein. There's nothing else to it, and I really don't want to have just protein because I think that's a lack of, or it becomes a little bit of waste. I want to have fats and good micro and macronutrients from the actual food sources, so that's why I choose the fattier part. And that's another way to get different fat sources into your meals, because otherwise I would have to utilize olive oil and maybe coconut oil a little bit more, but this way I don't have to. Same goes with ground beef. I like to have the 10% ground beef just so that I can get the fat contents from it, and I don't have to use olive oil as much because, well, I like to have variety. I think variety is really good in terms of food. That is something you really want. But chicken is on the plate, I don't know what it's called. But what I like to do, of course you separate them a little bit, but I like to add some extra salt into these chickens, because without extra salt these are quite, well, they don't taste that good. But adding just a pinch of salt makes them so much better. But just make sure that they are separated well and that they are not stacked together on top of each other so that they can cook properly throughout. Okay, that's very good. Okay, that's salting done, and now we pop this bad boy to the oven, 200 degrees for maybe 15 minutes, I don't know. I will be checking on this when I remember. It's not that serious, guys. Next thing we're gonna do is to start cooking the vegetable stew. So just get yourself a big ass pot. I have this one, I think this is like 5 liters, maybe more, maybe a bit more, but that's a big ass pot. I will add just a little bit of water in there, and then we will throw the first vegetables in there. So we are gonna start with spinach. Spinach is extremely good for you guys. Super cheap and extremely healthy. And 100 grams, boys. 23 calories. That is nothing. So we pop those in there, and then we have this country vegetable mix. So carrots. What the fuck does this have? Oh god. Okay, well, carrots, and then these two other, I can't remember the name in English, but yeah, those bad boys. Really healthy for you. And this also, I think this package of 1 kilo is like €2, 30 cents. So basically nothing. So we just pop them, everything together, and then close the lid. And you put it on max heat. Now we can start to prep the ground beef. So with ground beef there is not much to say. It's fucking ground beef. Just make it as you wish. I like to use just basic salt. And then again from Lidl they have this grill seasoning. It's quite good, but not the best in my opinion. But it gives it a little bit extra taste. Because ground beef with just salt is kind of boring. So I will be prepping 1.2 kilos of ground beef. And fuck, I forgot. I like to add some oil. Now I will use some coconut oil, just throw it in there. Because even though it's 10% fat, they sometimes get a little bit burned if there is no extra fat. So just throw some in there and it will be good. Yeah, that's good enough. It's not rocket science, boys. Just make sure you take this paper off, because I've done the mistake of not taking it off. And holy fuck the mess I've been in after that. Let me tell you, it's not fun to try to get this paper off your pan when it's totally burnt down and your food is fucked up. It is definitely not optimal for your gains. I like to keep my meal prep extremely simple. There is not many moving parts and it's basically always the same. I like to prep a lot of food at once so that I don't have to waste any more time later on during the week to prep the foods. That's lower. I think that's good. Sun started to come out, so that's so blown up. And of course, the best tasting Pepsi you can have, the mango flavor. If you haven't tried it yet, please go get yourself one right fucking now. It is so good. But yeah, making your meal prep easy and something you actually will do is important in my opinion. If you make your meal prep way too complicated or way too time, or if it takes too long, it's just not worth it in my opinion. Make it easy, make it quick, but make it tasty. Okay, now we just have to wait, so I will report back once there is something new to be done. So something new I'm gonna be trying now. I haven't done this before and this can end up catastrophically, but I will be prepping 5 days worth of eggs right now. So what I'm gonna do is just to cook them. and I will make 5 portions of eggs, and then I will just measure out the total amount and that comes out of these eggs, and then I will divide it by 5, and then I know how much I have to take each day to get my 5 eggs that I've been having. But I don't know what happens when I heat these up again. I think that can become a problem, but you don't know if you don't try. So we're gonna try this one. If this works, then I will be saving lots of time from my meal prep again. Because eggs have been something that I've been prepping every day separately, so I haven't been, holy fuck, I haven't been prepping them previously. Oh my god. This is what happens when you do too many things at the same time. Prepping your food is kind of difficult because you have to manage many different things at the same time. But to be honest with you guys, I don't think this is gonna work. I have to 25 eggs in this little ass pot. I don't know. I'm doubtful already, but since we already started, we shall see what the end result is gonna be. They just barely made into the pot. Jesus fucking Christ, I think this is gonna end horribly. Now we have to start to cook them and stir them. Oh my god. Imagine if the last egg that I placed in here was gone bad. That would have been fucking catastrophic. Everything would have gone to shit. But God thank it was not. But I think it will still go to shit. What the fuck is this? They are already burning down. Oh my god. Yes, as I mentioned, this is the first time I'm trying this, so don't try this at home, boys and girls. This does not look like it's gonna end up well. Even I think I would have needed to have a bigger pot because, well, as you can see, it's totally full. Because it's difficult to stir these. But if this works, then I've just saved time from meal prepping. Okay, let's leave them for a bit. Now we have to work on this bad boy here, these two. So now the first vegetables are defrozen, so now we can add the rest. Alright, there we go. I still need to add the onions and the beans into the mix, but I will first I will let these tomatoes cook because the onions and beans don't need to cook that long. As I told you guys, I have eczema, which is the skin condition, and my eczema gets triggered by uncooked vegetables and fruits, so I have to cook all my vegetables and fruits for that reason, and they need to be cooked throughoutly or it will trigger my eczema, which kinda sucks, but It feels like something is bouncing in here. Super weird. Now this has to be the worst fucking idea I've ever had. Holy fuck. Will this ever cook? Well, the bottom portion is starting to look okay. Jesus fucking Christ, I need a bigger pot for this. Yes. Yeah, what the fuck was I thinking? Jesus Christ. So let's throw all of this into here. And let's hope this works better. The ground beef is ready, by the way. I already took it away from the heater, and I think my chicken is also, yep, chicken is also ready. So let's take those out. Meal prepping is, it's a sport, boys. So much shit to do. This ain't no easy work. Oh yeah, they are just perfect. Let's hope the fire alarm is not starting to beep. Okay, now we can focus back on these fuckers. Okay, and now I'll turn this off so you can hear something. The eggs are starting to become what I was hoping they would come. They are slowly cooking here. But now we will be adding the rest. My god, this fucking... Jesus Christ, that was hot. So now we will add the onions and the beans to the vegetables too. So here goes the beans. Always wash your beans because they are dirty as hell. They are nasty. And you don't want anything dirty or nasty into your meal. Then your sliced onions, and now you will season your food. I like to use just salt, but use salt generously. I really don't think you can go, or it becomes very difficult to go too heavy on salt, just because there's so much food in here and the salt gets diluted because of the water that's coming out of these vegetables, tomatoes and the frozen vegetables we put on first. So the salt doesn't taste as much in here, but it is definitely needed. Without salt it tastes like, well, it doesn't taste good, let me tell you that. So always season your food, it makes a huge difference. Okay, now we let this bad boy simmer at mid-heat for some time. And now the only thing left are these fucking eggs, but they are coming slowly but surely. I have to place my camera to charge for a while it's running out of battery, so I will report back once I am done with all the foods. Hey, here we go, finally ready. That took a while, probably 45 minutes in total to get all these meals done. I know this looks like total shit, but trust me guys, it is extremely tasty and very good for you. So many good nutrients, and yeah, just try it and you will thank me later. Also cheap as hell. That's the entire big ass bowl is like, what would I say, 6-7 euros, and that will last you for at least a week. And look at this, the eggs actually came out quite nice, so I'm surprised about it. I was quite sure that they will come out as total shit, but they actually didn't, so we just shall see how they taste when I heat them again in the microwave. That could be the problem that comes, but that's problems for another day. No, the only thing left for me to do is to pack these into my food containers so that I have ready to go meals for me for the next work week. But yeah, that's everything. One other thing I wanted to talk to you guys about is the new training weights for next week. So on Tuesday, a new training week begins for me, and next week also means that a new cycle, a new 4-week training cycle starts for me. As I mentioned, the Gym Wanderer program consists of 4 weeks. It's in a 4-week cycle, 3 weeks of training and 1 deload week. So we are right now on the deload and it is ending on next Tuesday. And now we have to increase our weights. So what I thought that I will be doing is I will increase my deadlift from my true 1 rep max deadlift. I will be increasing from 180 to 195. So that means my 90% training 1 rep max will be 175. Then my squat will increase from 155 to 165, and my bench from 135 to 140, and overhead press from 80 to 85 kilos. So deadlift being definitely my strongest lift right now, I will increase it the most. Since we have to take advantage of every increase we can. And yeah, the upper body movements are increasing only by 5 kilos because they are definitely more difficult to get strong on, since the muscles are much smaller and much weaker than lower body muscles. And for squat, I will not be adding 15 kilos just because I'm not too confident on my squat. My squat is okay, but definitely not as good as my deadlift, so I will increase it to 10 kilos with 10 kilos. And I think that can be a overshoot, but we must do some overshooting if we want to get this program done in time. There's no way I can add just 5 kilos to my squat every 4 weeks. That is just way too slow, so we have to be a little bit delusional and increase our weights, even though we probably cannot lift those weights yet, but we definitely need to increase the weights as fast as possible. So yeah, those will be the new training weights for our next 4-week cycle, and yeah, it's gonna get good. We're gonna be increasing our foods quite soon actually. I can't remember the exact date, but I think it's still 1 week away. But that's gonna get exciting when we up the meals, up the training, up the cardio. Oh yeah, it's gonna get good real fucking soon. We're gonna get so much stronger and bigger, and I hope this is motivating you all to push and give all you got, because, well, what else can you do? Be lazy and do 50% work? Nah, don't do that. If you're gonna do something, do it 100%. That's the only way for me to go about life. No reason for me to do anything if I'm not gonna do it 100%. So I hope this motivates you guys to push all the way through and actually see what is possible as a natural bodybuilder slash strongman slash whatever. I just want to get fucking strong and big. But I will be ending today's video here, so we will see you once again tomorrow. Hope you guys enjoyed and have a good one. See you tomorrow.